I told y'all I was gonna review this show, so that's the only reason why I'm here, okay? I'm in my blanket because I'm cold, and I just got done watching episodes 1 through 3 and barely made it through a little bit of 4. So I came here to film the review so y'all can encourage me to keep watching because I am completely flabbergasted, okay? But we're just going to keep it to episodes 1 through 3 on this review. I didn't even do an intro. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about The Ultimatum. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. And I also want y'all to check out my Christmas collection and make sure you take advantage of the discount code Black Friday that actually ends today on December 6th. So make sure you use it before it runs out. And like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into this video. I had this show on 1.5 speed the entire time because everybody want to talk slow. Everybody is like over analyzing the situation. First of all, the premise of the show is already stupid. Why are you trying to force somebody to marry you by putting them in a relationship with someone else for like 2 weeks? And then you turn around and you have a problem with that. It's so annoying. These people are in their 30s, majority of them. And they act like children. They're all immature. And like I said before, half of them don't even have a real personality. So it's just like, y'all are boring even when y'all are fighting. The drama is supposed to be the thing that at least be entertaining. And even that's boring. So, okay, who should I start with? I don't even know who I want to start with, y'all. I'm just scrolling through all of them, trying to see like which one. I guess I'll just start with Chanel and Micah. They've been together for 2.5 years, and she is the one giving him the ultimatum. When they have a conversation about their relationship, he asked if she's ready to be a wife. And she immediately broke down into tears over that question because she doesn't like the fact that he doesn't take into account that she's been there for him several times. They didn't go into detail as to what she's done for him, but he said, well, I was there for you too, and I was there when you were Uber eating, and I was there for you for every ride. So clearly they have a very like tit for tat relationship. The thing that irritated me with him is that he calls her wife, but he won't propose. He won't marry her. Don't call me a wife. I don't even have a ring on my finger. What are you talking about? That's very insulting to my intelligence. And Chanel is stupid for sitting there and letting him do it. Like, does that make you feel good? Like, that's not progressing your relationship any further because you're allowing him to play with your intelligence. You're bringing him here for what? And then he tried to gaslight her and say, well, you just started a new career, and what if we get married and you have a baby and it becomes too much and you have to give up your job? She was like, I don't plan on getting pregnant anytime soon. You know, birth control exists. He was just coming up with very stupid arguments as to why they shouldn't get married. And she's sitting up there crying. She's in tears. Clearly she loves this man. She wants to be with him real bad. And he's just being so cold. Like, he's being very emotionless, just overlooking everything that she's saying. He has a rebuttal to everything that she says. And yeah, once again, I'm looking at her crazy. Why are you still with him? She claims that she'll leave him if she doesn't have an answer at the end. And we'll see, child. So then we have Arah and Scotty. And they've been together for 3 years. He is the one who gave her the ultimatum. And as far as their relationship goes, they are long distance. She is very career focused, and she's kind of at the peak of her career right now. And I guess how long has this been? I'm so irritated. Why didn't y'all tell me that camera was slipping like that? I just now noticed it. But anyway, I'm not refilming anything, so we just have to deal with it. She is at the peak of her career. She's very career focused, and she has been poor in the past, and she doesn't want to be dependent upon a man's paycheck. She also says that she doesn't want to fall in line with what he wants just to make him happy, which lets me know that marrying him wouldn't make her happy. So why are you still with him? That I'm very confused as to why she's with him in the first place. Like, is this for play? Is this just something that you don't take seriously? He's the one who gave her the ultimatum, which is very rare on this show for the man to give the woman the ultimatum, and it's almost always something wrong. I'm always looking at the man sideways, like, why doesn't this woman want to marry you? He said that they're emotionally disconnected, and I can very much so see that between them. Later on in the process, when they were mixing and mingling and dating all of the couples, and technically they're exes at this point, she saw him with Zaina holding hands with her, and she started crying. I'm so confused. Like, did you not know what you were signing up for? Have you not seen this show before? Did they not thoroughly explain the rules to you? Like, y'all are supposed to be single, right? Now, I mean, could he not do that in front of her face? Is that kind of rude? Of course, but technically he's single, so you might as well just turn your head at this point. But she didn't do that. She ran over to them, she confronted them, separated them, and you know, they get to arguing or whatever, and he's telling her, like, I issued you the ultimatum. If you don't want to see me with someone else, you don't have to. We can get married. To a certain extent, I get where he's coming from with that, but he was getting loud, and you know, she started talking about how she didn't want him to be yelling it all in her face and mad he won't apologize, even though he didn't really, in my opinion, he didn't really do nothing wrong. Once again, I feel like these grown 30-year-old people don't know how to control their emotions, and it's crazy. So then we have Dave and Vanessa. They've been together for 3 years. She is the one who issued him the ultimatum, and she said every time she tries to have a conversation with him about marriage, even though he said he wants to marry her, that his timeline is pretty much non-existent, and he's just uncomfortable talking about it in general, and he's just not in a rush. And it just sounds like he told her that to hold it over her head, but never actually felt the need to follow through, because he felt like he wouldn't be able to lose her. And she doesn't know why he won't just commit to her. He doesn't support her dreams. She wanted to be a bodybuilder, and she actually went through with it, and he made her promise not to ever do it ever again. A part of me feels like he just didn't want something to take the attention away from him or something. Like, why does that bother you? It's funny because when they were having a one-on-one conversation before they broke up, he was like, yeah, it's a likelihood that I'll, you know, be getting with Mariah, or he was just kind of trying to throw it in her face that he'll be dating other women, and I guess trying to make her jealous. But it's funny, when it came down to it, the women really were not interested in him. Not for real. But it was very easy for Vanessa to pick up somebody. Her and Nick were very much interested in one another. They connected on the fact that they're both art school dropouts, and they were homeschooled, and both are kind of weird and quirky and feel like they don't relate to their partners in that way. Now, I'm not gonna say that Nick is just the best person for her to be coupled off with, because I don't believe a word he says. I believe he's saying everything he can to spit game at her and make her fall for him, and she's very naive and falling for it. But I don't think he actually is interested in her in any way. He's just trying to grab somebody up in this process. But anyway, this had Dave shook. Every time he would see Nick and Vanessa together, he would get real nervous. He would come over and I think that I'm in love with you, and like he would always like start begging, and at one point he started crying, trying to get her to leave this experience with him because he wasn't having the same luck that she was. And I don't think he realized that she's a baddie and these other men would be very much so interested in her. And really, looks wise, she's out of his league. So I think that kind of like shook him a little bit. I love the fact that Vanessa wasn't giving him the time of day, and she was letting him know like that's the whole point of us being here. So I'm not gonna give up my connection just because it makes you uncomfortable. Poor Chanel, she just got caught up in crossfire. She pretty much was Dave's therapist the entire time. Then we have Mariah and Caleb. They've been dating for 2 years. She is 24 years old and she is issuing the ultimatum. And I'm just sitting up here like, girl, you are 24 years old. You are 24 years old. I feel like no one below the age of, I'm going to say 25, but really 30, should be issuing an ultimatum. Not at this age. Just move on. Just find somebody else. Like, come on. Like, I feel like all of them should, but especially you. You're 24. Don't waste your time. He said that she's trying to rush, and he doesn't want her to look back and resent him for spending all of her early 20s married and pregnant and have a midlife crisis at some point. Unlike the rest of the men that have been issued an ultimatum, I actually see where Caleb is coming from because she is young. And I think he doesn't want her to regret getting married. He doesn't know if she's actually ready. And also, she's mentioned having a very tumultuous relationship with her mother, a traumatic childhood, and she might be trying to rush to have her own family in order to try to heal some of that within herself. But I feel like she should heal first before starting the family, so she doesn't repeat those same patterns. He also said that he is nervous that he won't be able to provide financially. That's one of his concerns because he grew up without money. I think he should break up with her because you know you don't want to marry her and you already don't feel solid enough to be in a marriage, and that's what she wants, whether you agree with it or not. That's what she wants. So I think you should just be the man and leave the relationship in this case. So then we have Nick and Sandy, and they are very, very toxic. Very toxic. He is the one giving her the ultimatum. They've been together for 2.5 years. He is older than her and he is ready to settle down. He wants to live a quiet life in the country, and she's not ready for that. She's still trying to party. Mind you, he's 10 years older than her, so he should be ready to settle down. He's in his late 30s, but she is still in her 20s. She's not ready. She said he lived his city life for like 10 years and now he wants to lock her down. And he's like, she's at the Coachella stage and I'm at the stagecoach age. Well, release this woman. Release her. You know she's not ready for all that. Why are you trying to force something like this? And he so comfortably says this on TV. He'll do and say things like that and label her as aggressive when really she's just firing back and not allowing you to control her. That's what I'm seeing from this. She looks a lot like Jess from the season before last. It's kind of weird they chose someone that looks so much like her. When I first saw the previews for this season, I thought it was Jess. I was like, why is she on this show, yet another Netflix show? But it actually wasn't her. And then some people were like, Jess looks way better. And I'm like, Jess probably has better plastic surgery. Let's see both of them in their natural state and judge off of that. But y'all really tried it with that. Sandy is really interested in JR. And let's go ahead and talk about JR and Zaina. So Zaina is giving JR the ultimatum They have been together 3 years. They're in their 30s. They live together. And it's getting to the point where she is thinking about freezing her eggs. Like, she's ready to go ahead and settle down. They said they met on a dating app. He said this in their confessional, that he gave her first big O. And I'm just like, oh, you one of them. You one of them. Yeah, he doesn't have much depth at all. I don't care what anyone else says about, oh, you're a lot deeper than what I thought. Everything is surface level to him. It's always going to come right back to the bedroom in one way or another. That's what he leads with. Even if he's talking about something else, it's right there, right below the surface. He's very shallow. Very shallow. He is a divorcee. He got married at 22. You know, being from a religious family, him and his girlfriend wanted to do, but they didn't want to do it before marriage, so they got married. And I'm here to tell y'all, a lot of people in the church get married for that exact reason. A lot of people. Obviously, it didn't end up working out. She apparently cheated on him, and he really has not truly healed from that. He said that he just pushes it down and he doesn't think about it, but clearly this is something that still affects him, and it's keeping him from wanting to move forward with Zaina. He also thinks that Zaina doesn't have a real reason for wanting to get married, that she just wants to get married because her friends. She's in her 30s. If she doesn't do it now, she might not be able to do it later. So to reduce it down to, oh, her friends just want to do it, like, that was very, I don't know, he was just downplaying the reason why she wants all of this. So when it comes to this whole dating process and them technically breaking up and becoming exes, she feels like he won't care, or he'll be nonchalant when it comes to her dating other men, that he won't really care. And he was like, yeah, half the time I'm acting like I'm nonchalant. That man do not care. And it just makes me believe that he doesn't truly love her, and he probably be doing whatever he wants to do in his spare time, because it was so easy for him to jump on Sandy, and every time we turn around, he's looking at her legs, he's mentioning her, you know, body parts and things like that, looking her up and down. Whatever their connection is just lust. They don't really have like real conversations. They haven't really gotten to know each other. He just wants his first experience with a white woman, because he said he's never been with a white woman. It was between Sandy and Arah, and he was like, yeah, the Arah, since she's mixed, that's the safe choice, but he's really thinking about being with the white woman because he's never been with one before. I was like, this man really said this on TV, like, with no shame, just straight up fetishizing. So, and he even told her, like, yeah, we would make some really cute mixed kids. I was so embarrassed. I don't have anything to do with this situation, and I'm embarrassed. If I was Zaina, I would be so ashamed that he immediately went to, yeah, we would have some cute mixed kids. He completely forget Zaina. But like I said, he knows that Arah is wifey material, and she would be the choice that he would learn the most from in this situation, but he chose Sandy strictly because he was attracted to her, and he know he could probably get something out of her. They even kissed before they even had the dinner where they were supposed to choose who they were going to be with. Zaina ain't worried about him either. She already said she was going to block him so that he couldn't text her. When she was looking to date the guys in this situation, she's also looking for a man who issued an ultimatum to his partner, and there was only 2 to choose from. So she ended up setting her eyes on Scotty, and you know, he called her wifey material from day one, and he said he wants someone who knows what she wants, and she wants a man that will take the lead. And I feel like they're trying to act like their situation is deep, but I feel like they're lusting after each other too. He's saying everything that she wants to hear, and that's that. They don't have no deep conversations either. They don't talk about anything further than, oh yeah, you're exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I wanted for my partner in the first place. So then we get to the choosing ceremony. Scotty and Zaina obviously choose each other. They're laying it on thick with these speeches. I need somebody that's ready to receive my love and not take me for granted. It felt like a Tyler Perry play. Girl, if you don't just say you choose Scotty and sit down, they was getting on my last nerve because they was just trying to shade their exes. Arah had a whole moment where she burst into tears and she couldn't take the fact that he was coupled up with another woman. It's like, girl, once again, did you not know what show you was coming on? Like, I mean, she just bust out into tears with no sort of shame. Like, I would at least try to hide the tears. She just let them go freely. I'm like, why are you letting this man see you sweat like that? He was the one who gave you the ultimatum. But I also feel like Scotty doesn't, I don't know, I feel like he doesn't care about her as much as he tries to let on. Because when she does cry, he's very cold about it too. He doesn't seem to care that she's crying. Like, as long as I got Zaina. And then Mariah and Micah, they pretty much are the couple that are together by default. There's this couple every single season of this show that just end up together by default. They have no chemistry whatsoever. There just was no one else to choose from because everybody else coupled up. They're very awkward, and he was already missing his ex on the first night, so they didn't have much in common. Then we have Chanel and Dave. She said she wanted somebody easygoing. This man has cried on your shoulder, and you have had to be a therapist to this man at every turn. And you just turn around and baby him. How is he easygoing? It's funny because Micah, out of everybody, surprised me the most that he became emotional and he broke down and started crying and told Dave that he better take care of her, and as long as she's saved, you're saved, kind of threatening him. I'm like, dang, you have to do all that. But I think he didn't realize that he could possibly lose her until this moment. And so later on, when they actually move into their apartment together, he texts her around 3 a.m. And I'm guessing they meet up with one another. We really don't get any like confirmation. But Micah was like, oh yeah, at 3 a.m., mind you. Oh yeah, I just need to get some air. I just want to take a walk. And Dave is like, this man told me as long as you save, I'm safe. And if you go out there and you be out there and somebody knock you across the head, this man is gonna kill me. Clearly she was out with him, and she didn't get home until 8 a.m. And she did end up apologizing for it, but what was the explanation that she gave him other than I was with my ex? Then we have, who was next? Then we have JR and Sandy. Sandy gets into a back and forth with Nick because Nick is totally against her being coupled up with JR. He does not like it because he already knows his girlfriend. He already knows she could easily be snatched up by this black man. He knows it. And he is in shambles. He's very salty. He was like, it took forever for me to get you to open up and be vulnerable with me, but you immediately opened up to him. You connected with him instantly. He was so upset. And, you know, I already knew JR was going to choose Sandy, but we know that he chose her strictly out of lust. What was crazy was when he stood up and, you know, he was giving the reason as to why he wanted to be with her. He was like, yeah, if I would have walked into the bar, I would never gave her the time of day. She is not my type at all. And she was like, she kind of took offense. I think everybody at the table was a little shook, like, dang. You know, he meant that he's not normally attracted to white women, but it was just wild for him to say that in front of everybody. That would have kind of turned me off, but I guess it made her want to jump his bones even more. She says she's always wanted somebody just as fiery as she is. Once they move into their place together, he's consistently bringing up her body, and everything has a sexual connotation to it. It's funny, she asked him what his real name was because he goes by JR. What does JR stand for? And he said John Richard, I think. something like that. And she was like, John as in JAWN, like Philly John. I'm like, was that a microaggression? Their relationship is so cringy. If I had any affiliation to them, I would be so embarrassed. That's why Nick acting a fool now, because he already knows Sandy is going to get on this show and embarrass him. He already knows it. I don't know why he signed them up for this. Anyway, I told you he was already seething and passive aggressively mad at the fact that JR and Sandy are together. But he ended up choosing Vanessa because he just needed somebody. It seemed like it didn't matter who it was. He did want to have some sort of connection, I guess, to try to make Sandy jealous. But I just think he told Vanessa whatever she wanted to hear in order to lock her in. So whenever they moved in together, all he could talk about is Sandy. And then the next day he ran into Sandy and she told him that she had already kissed JR. JR was shook. JR was shook whenever he found out that Sandy told Nick that, because I know he was scared that Zaina was going to find that out. He could barely talk in the rest of that conversation because he was just like looking off into the distance, like scared that Zaina was going to find out, because he know he wasn't supposed to be kissing on her. But anyway, Nick found out that Sandy kissed JR. He's upset. He's hurt. He's sliding down the wall. He's crying all in Vanessa's arms. It was really sad to see a grown man just fall apart that way. Why are you here? Why did you even bring her here in the first place? You knew who you was with. That's why you was so upset that she chose JR in the first place. Now you sitting up here looking stupid. Cause she'll leave you. And that's why you upset now. Finally, we have Caleb and Arah. And I feel like Arah would have chosen JR if she had the chance to pick first. But she ended up with Caleb. You know, she was the most emotional out of everybody in this experiment. I think she really can't handle the fact that Scotty is with someone else. And you would think she was the one. They gave him the ultimatum. The way she's acting, she says she's used to feeling very secure in their relationship. Now she just doesn't. And she's going to be sleeping separately from Caleb, and she's hoping Scotty is doing the same. And you already know he's not. I hope she actually gives Caleb a chance, because he seems like a decent guy. They seem like they would be a better match for each other than they are with their original partners. So I think she should give him a chance and see where it goes, because I feel like Scotty is gone. I feel like if he could really reel Zaina in, he's gone. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I'd love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.